Through the driver's side door to start from. That's the card I pulled, just say. So what we're going to do, we'll get started. We're going to start up here at the mirror. My mirror bracket is properly mounted and secure. My door mirror is not bent, broken, or cracked. My mirror is clean and clear. And my door opens and closes properly. The hinges are properly mounted, secure, not cracked or broken. The weather stripping or the weather seal around my door is not cracked or broken. It's 100%. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and open this side. It says baggage right here on it. I'm going to go ahead and pull that. I'll have that open so when I get to there, okay? Door closes properly. I'm going to follow down here. This is going to be my left side marker light and turn signal. It's not cracked or broken. It's amber because it's toward the front of the vehicle and it has no condensation. My battery box is properly managed, secure. It does have a rubber strap in place holding the lid tight. My steps going to enter my cab are properly mounted, secure, not cracked or broken, and they're able to support my weight. My DEF fluid tank, properly managed, secure with a strap. All bolts are tight. I can see underneath. It does have fluid, so I see underneath there is no leaks, and the cap is on securely. Okay. Coming down here, I got my side storage compartment, and in here, the only thing you have to mention in here is the 3 red reflective triangles. They're in this box, and it's properly mounted, secured to the floor. Okay, these are required, right? We will mention our fire extinguisher when we get inside inside the cab. Okay, and this door closes properly. All right, I got my fuel tank. It's properly mounted and secure with metal straps. They're secured to the frame. The tank is not cracked or broken. And I can see underneath that it has no visible leaks. The cap, this one you got to take off. The cap has a chain securing the cap. And inside here is a rubber seal that's in place at 100%. All right, coming on back. Take my eyes up. Back here I do have my work lights on the back of the cab. They're not cracked or broken, no condensation, and they're clear in color. Okay, I do have my grab handle to get up on the back of the truck. It's secured to the cab, all bolts are tight. All right, coming on down, I have my air lines and my electrical line. Okay, they're properly there. The air lines have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. And I hear no audible leaks coming from them. The electrical line is not cracked or frayed and no exposed wires. The air lines are secured to the front of my trailer with glad hands. Inside these glad hands, there's a grommet, a rubber grommet that's not cracked or what you would look for on those, that they're not cracked or dry rotted. The electrical line is secured to the front of my trailer and to the back of my cab with a safety latch, and the latch is in place and locked. Okay, and big. None of the 3 come in contact with my catwalk. Okay, that would rub a hole in them or rub an abrasion on them, okay? My catwalk and my steps going to my catwalk are properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and they're able to support my weight. My frame, because remember, we may not have under the hood, so we're gonna mention frame here. And even if you have the whole truck, you can still mention it again. So the frame of my truck no illegal holes or wells. It's not twisted, cracked, or broken, right? Coming on down, inside here is my drive shaft. And my drive shaft is not bent, broken, or cracked. It's secured on each end with U-joints, which are properly lubricated. Right here, I do have an air tank, as well as on the other side. I'm gonna check them the same way. It's properly managed, secure with brackets to the frame, and the hoses going to it are properly managed, secure, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and I hear no audible leaks. Okay? All right, while I'm inside here, I can see I'm going to go to my suspension system. And on the suspension system, I can see from this side right here, standing at this angle, that I can see it here, I have a leaf spring hanger. Same on the other side. It's properly managed, secured to the frame with bolts, and all the bolts are tight. Down here, I have my leaf springs. They're not scissoring, cracked, or shifted, and they're properly managed, secured to the leaf spring hanger. They do have a bushing inside here that's not torn or ripped. Now, on the back side, I have to come to this side to show you that I do have, you can see the very top of it, a hydraulic shock absorber. Okay. It's properly managed, secure on top and bottom. It does have bushings in them. They're not torn or ripped. And the hydraulic shock absorber is not leaking, okay? I also have a airbag or an air bellow, either one you want to call it. It's properly managed, secure on top and bottom, and it's not no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and no audible leaks, okay? Now, I can see over here that my leaf springs are secured to my drive axle with 2 U-bolts and 4 nuts, and they're all tight, okay? Now, that completes my suspension. I'm gonna go to brakes, and I can see the brake chambers from right here where I'm standing. I'm gonna point in that direction, because I'm gonna check both sides. We'll check both sides in the same manner. The air hoses or air lines going to the brake chamber, there are no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, properly managed, secure with fittings, and I hear no audible leaks. The air brake chamber itself is properly managed, secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, and it has a metal ring around it that's secure and tight. Inside from here, I can see my brake pads. And my brake pads are not cracked or broken. There's no excessive oil or grease, and they must be at least 1/4 inch thick. The brake pads are inside the brake drum, and the brake drum is not cracked or broken, no excessive oil or grease. All right? That concludes my brake parts, okay? So now I'm gonna come to, I do have a quarter fender here. We can say splash guard or quarter fender, doesn't matter. And it is properly managed, secure. It's not cracked or broken, mounted to the frame, okay? I do have enough clearance. Now we're going to talk about dual wheels and tires. The insides and outsides of my rims, all the way on the inside there, I'd be checking the same thing. They're not cracked, broken, no illegal holes or wells. The rim inside, all the way inside here, is flush with no space that might indicate a loose wheel, okay? In between the dual tires, there's proper spacing, they're not touching, and there's no debris, all right? Next, I'm gonna go to the insides and the outside of the tires, and they have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. I see no obvious damage. The tires are evenly worn, and since they're on this drive axle, they must be at least 2 30-second tread depth. Okay? Each one of the tires, there's a valve stem for each one of these tires. Same on both sides. The valve stems are not cracked or broken. And this is where I would check the air pressure in my tire. I'd use a tire gauge, and each one of these tires must have at least 100 pounds of cold air pressure, okay? All right, coming on down to my lug nuts. All my lug nuts are present, none are missing, and they don't have any shiny thread or rust trails indicating a loose lug nut, okay? Right here I have an axle seal. Those are hub seals. These are axle seals, okay? The axle seal, all the bolts are tight. It's not cracked or damaged, and I see no leaks. All right, coming on back to my mud flap. My mud flap is properly bracketed, it's properly managed, secured to the frame. The mud flap is not torn or ripped. It does have DOT reflective tape on it, and it's at 100% because it's facing the back. The mud flap must be no more than 8 inches off the ground, okay? Looking back here, the 2 red lights, these would, the functions are, they're turn signals, hazards, running lights, and brake lights. You mentioned all 4, whatever they do, right? They're red in color because they're facing the rear of the vehicle. They're not cracked or broken, and there's no condensation. I do have a reverse light under there that's clear in color. It's not cracked or broken and has no condensation. All right? And that concludes the back of the truck.